If you have an FX6, you're probably very familiar with this bracket for the viewfinder, and it's really the only part of the camera that I just never really, I thought it was poorly done. It's pure plastic. It's a very small rod. It allows you to, rotate your viewfinder how you want, but it's pretty small as far as the options of where you can put your viewfinder, and it is just never felt strong. Like the rest of the camera feels really nicely built and strong, and this little piece of plastic just, yeah, it never felt great. So I decided to finally upgrade, and I purchased the Tilta bracket, and you can see the size difference, and this one allows you to, move the bracket up and down, and then you can also move it this way on the handle, and so it gives you a lot more options and versatility as far as where you can put your viewfinder. So I just got it, and I was really bummed because I ran into a problem, and as usual, I feel like Tilta does things pretty well, but it's like 90%, and then the last 10% is like, oh, come on, guys. Somebody should have caught it, or it's just, there's the last 10% of it is just either not well thought out or not well executed or something. And so you're left a little disappointed. And actually on this case, it was more than just disappointed. It just was not usable. And basically what happened is, this is a 15 millimeter rod, and somehow they managed to make this 15 millimeter rod slightly smaller than a 15 millimeter rod. And when you put the viewfinder on there, you're not able to tighten it enough so that it stays, it's just loose. It doesn't tighten it on the rod. So let's take a quick look. So it's, it's really simple. We're just going to remove this guy. And they send you this kind of fun little tool, which is kind of like a screwdriver, and you can attach it to a keychain or something so you have it with you, so that you can mount this bracket. And I guess you can mount it any way you want. I'm gonna mount it this way. I don't know if that's upside down, but I rather have, I think, the bracket kind of in line with the handle, and then I can adjust as I go. But let me tighten this right here. And the way it works is once it's tight, you can adjust the bracket without having to loosen the screw. So this tool is great, but man, for big hands like me, it's a little tricky to use. I should have just pulled out a screwdriver. There we go. So now the bracket is nice and tight, but as you can see, I can still hand move it and adjust it wherever I want. And so I can keep it in line with the handle for storage, or when I pack my gear. I actually take the handle off when I pack my camera into the camera case. But I can leave it in line with the handle, and then when I'm ready to shoot, I can just adjust it however I want, and then adjust this part. So that will work pretty good, and you can go vertical if you want to go lower or higher, depending on where you're putting your external monitor. And so that, I think, is going to work really well. And this feels great. Like, it's all metal. It feels really good. It's got two stoppers, one here and one here. So if you want, you can, slide this out in case you need to travel and you need to put it in a different location or something. So, but it feels really good. So that's great. So the issue that I ran into is this rod. So there's a stopper ring here, so it just unscrews so that you can now slide the viewfinder into place. And really the issue that I had is once I put this in, I couldn't tighten this enough, and so the viewfinder would just kind of slide, and there was no way for you to tighten this even more, because this has a mechanism on the inside where you can only turn it one turn and then one turn to loosen. So you can only tighten one turn and then the knob stops, and then you can loosen one turn and then the knob stops. And so there was no way of tighten this even more, even though there was plenty of gap. After one turn, you had a big gap, but there's nothing you can do to tighten even more. So I searched and searched online to see, how do I take this apart? Is there something inside that I can do? And I couldn't find anything. And finally, it was a little scary, but I decided to use good old pliers and trying to gently grab the knob, hold the bracket, and I just kind of forced it. And what it did is now I'm able to take the entire screw off, and you can see that there's a washer. And so I was like, well, I could add an extra washer and that should give me enough tension, because it really didn't need much. It just was pretty loose, but it didn't need much as far as tightening it. But if you look closely, you can see here that it's got a stopper. And so the knob can turn one full rotation and then it will hit this stopper and you couldn't pass it. And same thing when you loosen it, it would hit the stopper and that was it. And when I force it, it kind of shaved off the plastic tab that was used as a stopper, which is this little piece. And actually you can take a knife and kind of shave it. It's really just pretty soft plastic. And what this did is now I'm able so I leave the washer on there, but now I'm able to just turn this as much as I want and tighten the bracket, and that's enough. Now I'm sure they did it so that you wouldn't put too much stress on this plastic piece. So eventually, I mean, I need to be careful. But that's the risk, is here, is it at some point gonna break. But it was enough for me to then be able to slide it on the rod and then tighten it. And now it's perfectly, it's actually, you know, it's strong. So I can loosen it to adjust it, tighten it, and I'm good to go. Then you would put the tab back on and it would prevent the viewfinder from sliding out. I can now adjust the viewfinder however I want in all those different positions, which is kind of what we were trying to do. And yeah, it looks and works and feels pretty well. And now I can tighten this anytime and it looks pretty good. What I did find out, I think, for traveling, instead of having to remove this stopper every time, I can slide this thing off by holding this this stopper. Just push it down and I can slide the whole thing off, and then loosen this and then slide it in, and I can just leave it like this and that will fit in my camera bag that way. And then this bracket, I'll just line it up with the handle. When I travel, this handle comes off, but at least it can stay like this. When I'm ready to put it together, I can just loosen this knob, pull the rod out, and then it's just a matter of sliding that viewfinder into place by holding this little push button. There. And now I can good to go. So I think it's a pretty good solution. Just glad I figured that out. I was pretty upset, and hopefully that was helpful to you guys. Let me know if you have different ways or if you run into those issues and how you've come up with a solution. Happy filming. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to make sure that you receive all the notification every time I release a new video on cinematography. You can also visit my website at cinematic.com to check out my online courses.